All right, so in this video, we're going to be looking at periodic table. That's what we're going to be focusing on. And we're looking at things like atoms, neutrons, protons, isotopes, and stuff like that. That's what this video is about. So we're going to do a quick recap first. Then once I've done a quick recap on those, then we're going to look at some of the exam questions that you need to do. So periodic table is the focus. In case you're looking for tutoring, don't forget that the number to call is this one here if you're within the UK, and this one if you're outside the UK, and this is the email that you can reach us, 11plusgcse@yahoo.com. Just send us an email, and then we can organize for your tutoring, whether it is chemistry, biology, English, maths, GCSE, L level. Just give us, send us an email, and we can do that. Now we're looking at periodic table. That's what we're looking at. All the elements that exist on the earth are organized into something called periodic table, as you can see here. So the elements are put according to their atomic number. And the atomic number is the number that is at the bottom of the element. So for example, hydrogen is atomic number 1, helium number 2, lithium number 3, and so on. So the bottom number is the atomic number. The bottom number is the atomic number, and you need to know that. Now, this atomic number, and we're going to look at lithium, for example. This lithium has got a 3 at the bottom and has got a 7 at the top. Now, this 3 is basically the number of protons. So that means it's got 3 protons in the nucleus. So if I draw a lithium and I draw the nucleus, I will have 1, 2, 3 protons. That's what I'm going to have. Okay. Now, at the same time, when an atom has got 3 protons, it will also have 3 electrons as well. So the number of protons and the number of electrons are always the same. So lithium will have 3 electrons. All right. Before I look into electrons, what about neutrons? We normally have protons, we have neutrons, and we have electrons. All right, so we got 3 protons. Now the top number, which is number 7, this one is atomic mass. We have the atomic number and we have the atomic mass. So that's atomic number and we have the atomic mass. Okay. Now the atomic mass is made out of protons and neutrons added together in the nucleus. So this 7 will be 3 protons and also will be 3 neutrons. If I use a different color for neutrons, that's going to be 4. So it's going to be 3 protons and 4 neutrons to make 7. 1, 2, 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the atomic mass is made out of protons and neutrons and is the number at the top. The atomic number is made out of protons only and is the number at the bottom. And this number at the bottom is also equal to the number of electrons as well. So that's what I want you to understand. Okay. Now, in terms of masses, protons have got a relative mass of 1, neutron also 1, but electrons are approximately 0. They weigh very little. So this is their masses. In terms of their charges, protons are positive, neutrons don't have any charge, electrons are negative. So you need to know these basics first as we go. Okay. Now, you can see now on the periodic table that these elements, they have been arranged according to the number of atomic number. So here you see now 1 goes to 2 as you go across. Okay. Then from 2 now we go to 3 here, and then 4, and then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, and on and so on. So they are normally arranged according to their increasing atomic number from left to right. Okay. Now the other thing about periodic table is that elements are grouped in what we call groups. So this is group 1. This group 1 has got lithium, has got sodium, potassium, rubidium, and so on. Then we have group 2 going down. Groups are going down. So we have beryllium there, magnesium, and so on. Then in the middle, we have transition elements. So these are just transmission metals. You can see those in the middle. And then it jumps all the way to 3 now. So this is group 3. Then we have group 4, 5, so on. So we group them according to the what? And we group them in atomic in groups from number 1 all the way to number 8. Number 8 is also called 0, group 0. All right. So that's another thing that I want you to know. Now, you also need to know the names of these elements in the group. For example, group 1s are normally metals: lithium, sodium, potassium. Even group 2 are also metals as well. But we also have what you call group 7 here. This group 7 is normally called, we call them halogens. Okay, so halogens are things like fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, acetylene. We call them halogens. And then group 8, we normally call them the noble gases, or group 0. We call them the noble gases, and include helium, neon, argon, and all that. These are gases especially, and they're normally very unreactive. So you need to know some of them. On the other side, we normally have what, like metals. On the left-hand side, we have metals, okay? So you see, for example, I've got potassium, magnesium, and so on. And then this side, we normally have non-metals, like oxygen, for example, fluorine. These are non-metals. So these are the basics that you need to know for your periodic table that they're going to ask you in your GCSE or in your mock. Whether you are doing Edexcel, whether you're doing AQA, whether you're doing OCR, or you're doing IGCS, GCSE, you need to know periodic table and the things we are looking at right now. You need to know those. The other thing I want to talk to you about is something called isotopes. Okay, now let's look at carbon, for example. I've got carbon here. Now, carbon is carbon because it's got 6 protons. So I've got this carbon that's got 6 protons, but I also got this one that's got 6 protons, yes, but the mass number is different. Can you see that the mass number is different? So this carbon here, we call it carbon 12, and this other one, we call it carbon 14. They are isotopes. So isotopes usually have the same bottom number. They've got the same atomic number, same number of protons, same number of electrons, but they have different mass numbers, as you can see. This one is 12 and this one is 14. Now, the reason is because the number of neutrons they're having is different. So the first one has got 6 protons and 6 neutrons because 6 plus 6 is 12. The second one has got 6 protons but has got 8 neutrons because 6 plus 8 is 14. So isotopes will always have the same atomic number. They always have the same atomic number, but different mass numbers or different number of neutrons. All right, so that's what I want you to take from this. Now, let's look at some of the ways that the questions will come in exam. Let's look at some of the ways that the questions can come in exam. Okay. Before you look at the questions, just a reminder that if you're looking for tutoring with your A-level chemistry, GCSE chemistry, IGCSE chemistry, physics, biology, chemistry, maths, English, this is the number you need to call. So just send us a text or call us using this number, or just send us an email. Alternatively, if you can just go to our website, there's a link below this video in YouTube. You can click on that and that will take you to our website. Right, so that's just what I want to let you know. Please click subscribe please to this video. If you're watching us from YouTube, please click subscribe, or if you're watching us somewhere else, you can just share this to your friends so then they can also get learning. All right, now let's look at the questions here. Let's look at the questions. I want you to pause the video and hopefully you can see this particular periodic table. If you can't see it properly, then you can just Google up. You can just Google up a periodic table and use it to answer these particular questions. All right, so pause the video and try these questions. Pause the video right now. All right, so hope that you pause the video and you try these questions. Now we're going to run through them. So number 1, it says the periodic table is shown in page 2. I tried to put a copy here, but you can also just Google it. It says, in the periodic table, which number increases from 3 to 10? There are 3 numbers. There's a number that is to do with the atomic number, which is the number at the bottom. Like, for example, I can see lithium here has got 3 at the bottom there. Now, these 3 at the bottom can go all the way to 10. And I think that is going to be neon. This one now. See, the bottom number is 10. And that one was 3. In the same period. That's the same period. All right. So in this period, you see, it's from number 3 all the way goes to number 10. And that's the atomic number. So that is the atomic number. And then for part B, we are talking about the mass number, the atomic mass number from 9 to 226. If I try to look at where 9 is, beryllium is 9. I can see that 9 there at the top, that top number. And it should go all the way to 226. I don't know where that is because my periodic table is not showing it, but that would have been atomic number. That would have been atomic. That would have been atomic mass. Atomic mass. Okay. Question C. Now the particles with the smallest mass are always electrons. So that's gonna be electrons. They weigh nearly nothing. And the particles with a negative charge are always still electrons as well. Electrons are negative and their mass is also nearly 0. Question 3. There are 2 types of particles in the nucleus of a boron atom. the two types of particles in the nucleus. In the nucleus, we have protons and neutrons only. Okay, so there's going to be protons and neutrons only. All right. And then for part 4, we have in a boron atom, there is equal number of two things. I told you in my previous video, in the previous slide, that the number of protons and the number of neutrons are always the same. Protons and electrons, sorry. So the number of protons and the number of electrons in an atom are always equal. For example, in lithium, the bottom number is a 3. It means I've got 3 protons and I've also got 3 electrons. Okay, so protons and electrons are always equal. Now, question 5. The element boron has isotopes. These isotopes have different number of neutrons, but the same amount of protons. Okay, so that's how to answer this question. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you very quickly the answers that you'll have written. All right, so I hope that you marked that. If you haven't marked that, you can pause the video and mark them. All right, so we're going to move on to the next part now. We're going to move on now to the next part. Okay, so before I move on to the next part, one thing I want to mention very quickly is this. If you have an element such as lithium, a metal such as lithium, reacting with a non-metal such as fluorine, mostly they form what we call ionic bond. And we'll look at this properly in another video. They normally have what we call they form ionic compounds. All right, and this is where one atom will release an electron and the other will gain it. So if I just think about lithium and I draw the outer shell of lithium, lithium is atomic number 3. Now that means that on the inside, it will have had 2 electrons on the inside, but on the outside, it has 1 to make 3. So this is going to just be that. I'm just going to do that. Now chlorine is, let's say fluorine. Fluorine is atomic number 9. That means it will have 2 on the inside and then 7 on the outside, because 2 plus 7 is 9. These are electrons. So I can draw the outer shell of fluorine with 7 electrons like that. Those are going to be 7 electrons like that. Now, elements are very interesting. Atoms are very interesting. They normally want to be full on the outside. If it's the inner shell, they always want to have 2 on the maximum. Any other shell, mostly, they always want to have 8. So you can see now that this fluorine has got 7 already, is looking for 1 more to become 4. So what's going to happen now, this lithium here is going to release this and it's going to come here. So that at the end of the day, lithium will have nothing, and they're better having nothing on the outside. And then fluorine will have now 8 now. So because lithium has released an electron, is going to make this fluorine to become negatively charged because it has gained an extra negative. Electrons are negative. So when you gain 1, you become negatively charged. And this is an ion now. This is an ion. Now lithium has lost an electron, which means it's got more positives than that negative. So it's going to have plus there. Because this is a plus and this is a minus, these two will form a compound called lithium fluoride. They're going to form an ionic compound called lithium fluoride. All right, that's something I wanted you to know before we try a couple of questions. Just don't forget that if you are looking for tutoring, whether it is one-to-one or whether it is face-to-face or online, this is the number you can call, and this is the email that you can send to us, and then we can hook up with you to get to do lessons. All right, that's it. Now let's move on to the next questions. And this one here. So I'd like you to pause the video and try this. Pause the video and try this question. Pause the video and try this question. Okay, so I hope that you pause the video and you try this question. Now let's run through the question. Now this periodic table has got groups. This is group 1 going down, group 2 going down, group 3, and so on all the way to group 0. Across we have periods. So in period 1, going across, I've got hydrogen and helium. In period 2, I will have had these elements there. And then in period 3, I will have had these elements there. The left-hand side, we have metals. And the right-hand side, we have non-metals. All right. So question 1, complete the following sentence. The elements in the periodic table are arranged in order of their increasing atomic number. And I told you that already in the previous slide. So the atomic number of sodium is going to be less than that of chlorine. You see this? So they are arranged in their increasing number, atomic number, going from left to the right. Okay. Now, question B. Name an element shown in the diagram that is a metal. Metals are always on the left-hand side. So this sodium and this potassium, you can write any of them, sodium or potassium. Okay. And then question 2 says a halogen. Halogen are the elements in group 7. For example, fluorine, chlorine, and bromine. These are halogens. Okay. Question C. Name 2 elements in the diagram that react together to form an ionic compound. For an ionic compound to be formed, we need a metal and a non-metal. So you can pick either sodium and potassium, and you can pick either fluorine and chlorine, one of them. So if you pick sodium, you can pick fluorine, chlorine, bromine. So one of this with one of this. It has to be metal and non-metal. Okay. Now question 2 says, draw a dot and cross diagram for the ions in the compound formed in part 1. So let's pick the compound that we're going to be looking at now. So let's choose sodium and let's choose fluorine. Okay. Now sodium is atomic number 11. It doesn't matter, but the most important thing, we know that sodium has got 1 electron on the outside. Okay, because it's in group what? 1. Now fluorine is in group 7. Now what that means that fluorine has got 7. All elements in group 7 will have 7 on the outside, 7 electrons on the outside, like that. Okay, so this is fluorine. What's going to happen now? Because fluorine is looking for 1 more to make 8, this sodium will release this electron, it will come there, and sodium will now have nothing on the outside. Okay, now because fluorine has gained 1 extra electron, is going to become negatively charged, and because sodium has lost, sodium will now become positive charged. This is dot and cross diagram that the question is asking. Okay, so that's it. So that's that, going to be that. So yeah, we're going to stop there. I'm just going to show you the answers for this part if you want to mark, and then we're going to stop there for this. Oh, pause the video and mark. All right, so I hope that is that. So we moving on to the next one. So I'm gonna end this.